Hi everyone, my name is David King and I'm a meteorologist here at the National Weather Service that oversees the San Francisco Bay and Monterey Bay areas. And this weekend, specifically Sunday into Monday, we have another weather event that's going to bring critical fire conditions to the San Francisco Bay area with some strong offshore winds. Now remember, when we refer to offshore winds, we're talking about winds that are coming from the north-northeast direction. Now when we talk about onshore, they're from the ocean pushing moisture over the land, but with offshore winds, because they originate from the land, they're going to make things very dry. And these winds are going to be some of the strongest winds that we have seen here in the 2020 fire season. So, to begin, we issued a red flag warning for the North Bay Mountains and the East Bay Hills. This begins on Sunday morning at 11 a.m. So by Sunday morning, we're going to see the wind change to this offshore direction, and they're going to slowly start to increase throughout the course of the day and become very strong at these higher elevations. So we're talking about locations that are above 1,000 feet. By Sunday evening at 8 p.m., our red flag warning expands and we start to add more area to it. First of all, we're going to see these winds reach all the way down to the Santa Cruz Mountains. And now we're not expecting the Santa Cruz Mountains to see the strength of the winds that we are in the North Bay Mountains and the East Bay Hills, but they are still going to be strong and it is still going to be critically dry. Stay tuned as I'm going to get into the strength of the winds when I talk about the wind advisory here in a second. But at 8 p.m., in addition to the Santa Cruz Mountains, we also see the entire San Francisco Bay area get added to the red flag warning. These winds are going to be so strong that we're expecting them to reach all the way down to the surface where many people actually do reside. Now by Monday morning, we're expecting to see these winds that are going to slowly subside. They're not going to just turn off like a light switch. They're going to slowly subside through Monday, but it'll be enough where we can actually remove areas from the red flag warning. And so we're going to leave the North Bay Mountains and the East Bay Hills in the red flag warning all the way till Tuesday morning. And again, that's because of how dry the area is going to be because of these offshore winds. So I talked about how dry the offshore winds are going to be, but how strong are they going to be? Well, we've issued a wind advisory for that critical time period for Sunday night into Monday morning, and this is for the entire San Francisco Bay area. Now, our strongest winds are still going to be at the highest elevations. So we're talking about peaks and ridges. They're going to see sustained winds from 25 to 35 miles an hour with much stronger wind gusts. We could see wind gusts at the highest elevations to 60 to 70 miles an hour even. But now our lower locations, they're not going to see necessarily winds as strong, but we are going to see winds that are going to be sustained between 20 to 30 miles an hour with gusts in the range of 40 to 45, maybe even getting up to 50 miles an hour. So we want to make sure that you have a plan in place, because with winds these strongs, they could easily blow unsecured furniture around, they could damage power lines. So do you have your batteries that are necessary if you need to go to the backup for that? Are your phones charged? Do you have a way to receive messages to understand how strong these winds are? And if, in a worst case scenario that obviously no one is rooting for, a fire does start, winds that are these strongs, they're going to make for quick and easy fire spread. So do you have a go bag? Do you have a plan in place that's ready to go should a wildfire start and an evacuation is ordered? So we want to make sure that you're prepared for that. The last thing I'll mention for any of you boaters and mariners, we are in the place of a gale watch. Again, these winds are going to be strong enough to make it all the way down to the surface, where we could actually see gusts up to 45 miles an hour over the waters of the north and southern San Francisco Bay waters, and that could make for very hazardous seas for boats. So we want to make sure that you're prepared for that as well. So we want to make sure that you have a plan in place. We went from just talking about this event to issuing watches to then issuing advisories and warnings, which is the traditional path of how we do our forecasting. But we have a red flag warning that for the most part is from Sunday morning all the way till Tuesday morning, with that critical time period of strongest winds that we're forecasting from Sunday evening into Monday morning. So please take care of yourself and have a good weekend.